Good morning, everybody. As I start this video today, I am here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I would like to state a lot of things about this city. I'm not sure if people that are viewing this are familiar with Cincinnati, Ohio, and the way that this city has evolved for over probably about 100 years. But as I have been here for over 3.5 years, I've witnessed a huge amount of racial discrimination going on in Cincinnati with the way that this city's judicial practices are not in standards with state law, federal government law, and a lot of other things that they are breaking into people's lives with, using cameras everywhere to watch you and following you with police that are uh, probing into people's lives, doing destructive things with the information that they retrieve without you having any kind of whereabout, any kind of knowledge that they're doing these things. The city of Cincinnati has a very bad habit of ridiculing people for things that are not true or either of no value. I'm not saying that all people in Cincinnati, if you put them individually on a scale, are bad, but this is a very serious problem that has not been addressed by the United States government or the state of Ohio. I think that the average African American person in Cincinnati that truly stands for African American principles and American principles is being disenfranchised very serious here in the city. You got people who've been veterans, fought wars for this country, and died for this country. Can't even their families can't even get decent jobs here without being ridiculed or being stagnated by racial incitements, and job discrimination is rampant here. They think that you are very much like an animal to them. You're not even supposed to be considered a human being, someone wanting to provide for your family and live a modern, upscale life in 2017. I guess they picture that you're supposed to be still back in 2012, or 2010, or 2000, or either 1999, 1986, 1966, getting demoted and getting discriminated against by these vicious cycles of, I call them Nazi racist supremacists. And Cincinnati has a real problem with these people who try to go out and buy their way into society with their ideas of how they can trick people with their thoughts of how they can control you because of their color scheme. And these people are very destructive when you look at it as what their society purposes are. And it's not to include African American people, certain other nationalities. They don't get no kind of respect here in Cincinnati other than to get dogged out on a round the clock process. I'm very sick of this kind of mess, and somebody in the government system needs to involve in a serious investigation on how they've been doing this systematically to people, and it have no evidence. No kinds of 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 trials and indictments have been served from the federal government against these people. And I know that people have word of mouth, like I'm using now on this video, involving how to correspond with higher degrees of legal, the legal process, So there's just a huge amount of things that people in Cincinnati, even the poor, I would say, the ones that are not being fairly given the right to even have a life, are basically being trampled on and disgustedly. I mean, when it comes to things that they need for health care in Cincinnati, and it is a shame that you could just go into hospitals with health care insurance and get treated like a dog by some of these doctors, and misdiagnosing your injuries, giving you bad medicine prescriptions that ain't even got the right kind of Medicare and the medicine that you need, and then trying to cover it up with the old "I didn't understand, we didn't know what you meant, and how could we have made a mistake like this" type of excuses. It's all a bunch of pathetic BS. And that's why they have this biggest problem in America now with all these medical frauds with doctors who've been lying to people and lying to the insurance companies and stealing money. It's a record right now of $1.3 billion worth of money that doctors have filed faulty and phony medical reports, phony procedures that they did, and drugs that they prescribed to people that wasn't even hurt or wasn't even in pain, and all of this was just for them to reap the benefits of money. And our government system has the worst investigation process ever when it comes to people doing crimes like this as doctors and lawyers and judges. But as the tax-paying citizens like me and you that can't get a job because of these people, these are the reasons why we need to stop and come to grips with what's going on in this country. They already don't pay taxes. They're in another tax bracket, so their taxes are not even as high as ours are. And they get away with doing just about any destructive crime that the society and the judicial system allows them to do. Me and you could never do something like that and think that we would be exploited and definitely investigated by the police department, and then the FBI, and then the CIA, and then the head of states. But it's just a sad thing to say that America has went this far beyond, and all this new technology that we done paid for and people then died for, but the government system allows some of the most crookedest, corrupted people to operate it has ever seen. But anyway, getting back to Cincinnati, Ohio, this town has never wanted to do anything, to my knowledge, and I have a very high IQ level, and I've seen a lot of people in Cincinnati that are smart, but they don't want to speak up for things. They don't want to go and have the right kinds of organizations to operate and destroy and root out all the bad problems so that this city can grow and become a city for all people, just like all the things that they sell people in other cities that Cincinnati is the greatest city and all the good things that this city does, but they don't tell you the wrong things that this city is doing every day that destroys people's lives as soon as they get here. And I mean, they have roads that are never been repaired. They have millions and millions of dollars that they need to allocate to their city's roads and the surrounding highways. They need more professional doctors in Cincinnati who are better suited for health care than these criminal doctors they got. They need better lawyers that know how to prosecute criminals fairly, the ones that are not being prosecuted by these slummy lawyers they got in Cincinnati, the ones that are on the take like all the other judges They need to get rid of all of them because Cincinnati has no purpose for having these type of people trying to make money off of harming other people. And as we live in today's world with the bad economy we having to deal with, it's just a matter of time before a world war is going to happen. And you got these people out here that they call themselves Nazi skinheads and all these other racist people. They need to quit that mess. You know what I'm saying? Because that mess is just the same thing that kept all the wars in America that continue to go on for centuries. That trying to dictate who can live where, how much people can make on the job, what type of medical treatment you can get. That mess was eradicated by intelligent people over 50 to 100 years ago in America, which was trying to become a standoff for stupidity. That's not needed no more in America because there's people from all these other countries, which America was built on nothing but immigrants that come to this country. This country was taken from taken from the people that really were the first citizens and human beings on this North American planet, the Indians, and it was taken from them by force. So how can somebody that is of a neo-Nazi racist tell somebody that this is their country and it isn't? It was stolen by American pioneers like George Washington, the rest of those gangs that came in here and stole this territory and set it up for the government and the Pinkertons and the railroad system. That's how America was stolen by them and put in the hands of them by the British. But I don't know where they get it at that this is their country and it's not. Because rightfully it was taken and they know this. So America is going to have to do some real apologizing to somebody. And it's going to hurt very bad, I guess, if they're going to continue to go on down the road that they're going down. And I want to end this right now by saying the prayers to everyone that suffered in America behind all the tragedies that these greedy, inconsiderate politicians have done to people and caused families to suffer. I bless you. Thank you.